Welcome to Moving to Austin, Texas Suburbs. I'm Leanna Borsellino with Haven Homes.
And I am Caitlyn Balderas with Haven Homes.
And today we are doing a vlog on Pflugerville, Texas.
The lovely Pflugerville.
Spelling is a little bit weird.
Weird.
Pflugerville.
Yes.
That is because of the Pfluger family back in the day that founded Pflugerville, and it's German. So if you're like, what on earth the heck kind of spelling is that?
Yes.
That is why. But stick with us because we're going to tell you all about all the things Pfluger.
All Pflugerville, all the time. Welcome back. We are so excited to jump in and start telling you about Pflugerville. But first, make sure you subscribe and hit the notifications so that you don't miss any of our content. Yes. And if you are ready to start asking questions, it's never too soon for that. Whether you're moving now or a year from now, please give us a call, shoot us a text, write us an email, or better yet, hop on a Zoom call, because we really want to answer your questions. We know that so much goes into choosing where you move, and we would love to be your guides on that. So feel free to reach out. I'm really excited to talk about Pflugerville because that's the first place that I lived when I moved to Texas in 2013.
And what did you think of it when you moved here?
It was hot. It was August. Coming from San Diego, where it's average of 75 degrees all the time and no humidity, it was a shock to my system. But we actually worked with a realtor who was amazing. Shout out to Jason Crouch. He was my first realtor and my first boss. And he's you can thank him for getting us here today, and I do thank him a lot. But
Thank you.
Yes, so we had done a trip to visit the area, my mom, my sister, and I, and the 3 kids I had at the time, and Jason showed us around, and I was like, please not Pflugerville, because I don't want to spell this for the rest of my life. But that's where God put me.
And don't keep spelling it, girl.
Yes, and so I lived in Pflugerville for 6 years before moving to Round Rock, and I loved it. I thought it was lovely, and I actually had never seen my home until after I had already signed for it.
Wow.
I had only had videos, and that's really what drives me to help my relocation clients today, because I know what that feels like. It's a little scary, and you have to trust the person that they're going to tell you if it smells bad in the house, stuff you can't see from the videos.
Yeah.
So it really made an impression on me.
That's a lot of faith.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
So let's jump in. Let's tell them all about Pflugerville.
All right, so real quick, the population of Pflugerville is just a little bit over 66,000 people. So there are quite a few people that live here now. I mean, back in like the early 2000s, there wasn't quite so much population, but Pflugerville has really grown. I believe the reason why is because Pflugerville is the closest suburb to Austin. Like, it's right there on the border, and it's still actually a part of Travis County. So a lot of people that don't want to be part of, like the major city, they kind of trickle over into Pflugerville. And so that's kind of what happened. So Pflugerville is the closest. It's 20 to 30 minute drive to downtown Austin.
Yeah. And it's grown so much over the last couple of decades. Like, what did you think about it when you were growing up?
So I was, born and raised in Austin, and back in the 90s when I was, a young kid and a teenager and all that kind of stuff, Pflugerville did not have a lot of people here. My high school, I went to McNeil and Round Rock. We competed against Pflugerville High. And while our competition, they were great. They had the smallest team, the smallest golf team. They were a tiny school. I feel like they barely fit into, they barely made it for us to even compete against them because they were so much smaller. And I remember every time we would have to travel to come to the Pflugerville area to play, I was never a fan of it.
It seems so far, and there's nothing. So I mean, it really, a lot of even the stores and restaurants in Pflugerville are new, and a lot of the neighborhoods. So it has had a massive growth, and a lot of people like it because of how close it is to Austin.
Yeah. So a lot of times when you're researching where you want to move or an area you want to live that you're not quite familiar with the area, you might go to niche.com. So we can kind of spare you the search right now and let you know that niche.com actually has Pflugerville rated as an A.
An A. Yeah,
So
pretty high rating.
yeah.
So they factor several things into that. One of them is the diversity rating. So it's an A minus.
Yeah.
So that's really high. I love that about this area. And that is one of the
Super
things I
diverse.
noticed when I moved here was we had a large population of Hispanic people in San Diego because we're so close to the border, but there wasn't a ton of other diversity, where here it seems like it's a lot more balanced.
Very diverse.
Yeah.
The church that I go to is actually in Pflugerville, and it is probably the most diverse church I've ever been to. So, and if I bring someone like a guest with me, it's like the first comment is like, wow, this is a super diverse church. So if you happen to be looking for a church too, and you want to go somewhere that's diverse, you can holler at me and I can let you know where that is.
And I loved the cul-de-sac that I lived on for 6 years. I called it the cul-de-sac of nations because we had a family from Nigeria, we had a family from the Ukraine, we had Hispanic family. My ex-husband is Hispanic, so we were partially Hispanic family. We had somebody from Argentina. So it was just like really cool to have all these different cultures and for everyone to get along so well. And it was beautiful. And then when my kids went to school in Pflugerville, we would get papers and it would say, would you like this in English, Spanish, Vietnamese, and then I think there was one other language. So
It's gotta be Portuguese. I feel like there's a very strong Brazilian community here.
I don't remember, but it was cool to see that we had all these different
That's
cultures.
awesome. That's pretty awesome.
The median home price in the Pflugerville area is $373. I would definitely say
It's not bad at
it's
all.
not bad. I actually see more than that. So that was from Realtor.com.
Yeah, I would assume it was higher than that, to be honest.
It might be higher now. That was the most recent statistic we had from Realtor.com. But it really is an area that can be affordable if you can find the right pockets. But a lot of
We
houses
can, by
are
the
more
way.
expensive.
We can find the right pockets
We
for
can
you.
find you the right price. So we have some employers here in Pflugerville. I would say number one is Amazon.
Yeah,
They
gotta
got
be Amazon.
a huge fulfillment center right in Amazon. That
And
was
it's
only
pretty
a couple
much-
years ago.
It's right off of the toll road too.
Right off the toll road. Very convenient. We have Accent Food Services, Edge Memory, and Community Impact, which is a community newspaper magazine. It's made out of newspaper, but it's in the form of a magazine.
Yeah, and I feel that for whatever reason, and I'm not even sure, maybe this is true for you, I love to read community impact.
They tell you about updates they're doing on the roads. They tell you about school things
So
like
informative.
bonds and improvements they're doing in the area, new restaurants and stores that have opened. And it's specialized to, like, the one that I get is for the north suburbs, and so they have them for different areas, but they are located in Pflugerville.
As a matter of fact, if it weren't for community impact, I wouldn't know there's a Hobby Lobby coming in to Pflugerville.
Yes. Yes, I actually do find a lot of information from that, so we are thankful for community impact.
Love community impact. Speaking of, we're going to tell you about some of the top attractions in Pflugerville. I'm going to go with my number one, the one that I utilize the most. So if you decide you want to come here, you might see me and my kids, is Typhoon, Texas.
Yeah,
Water.
we like Typhoon, Texas.
Get the season pass.
Yeah, if you're going to go even 2 times, it's
already
cheaper
worth it.
to
It's
buy
cheaper.
the pass. You can go every single day of the summer if you want to, and it's like $70 a person or something. I think it's actually less than that.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll have, it's approximately $70, and the price might change this year.
Okay.
I feel like it always kind of fluctuates.
Yeah.
But they also will give you, like last year, they didn't really announce this, but I found out that with your season pass, you'll get free pizza, you get free, I think, wings, you got free ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
You got free...
They have like a basic level one, and then they have one that comes with extra stuff, or depending on when you buy it, they do specials.
So, but that was a part of it, and I had no idea. So I was going there all summer, unaware that my season pass could get me all this free food for my kids, so I didn't have to buy all that stuff for them. I was like, well, hold up a second. Like, I could have gotten all this food for free, but I don't feel like they really announced this. So Typhoon, Texas, I'll need to work on that. But
I do
again,
actually know someone who works there, so I'll talk to them about that. So,
but I still love Typhoon, Texas. They will have plenty of events, even in the evening. They'll do fireworks shows, displays, movie nights.
Movies in the
at
pool.
At the wave pool.
And DJ, usually on the weekends.
Yeah.
It's really fun. And my kids are older, so I can drop them off, or I can work and they can go play. And
They also have adult nights.
Yes. Yeah, I go by myself sometimes, don't leave my kids, but they watch this channel. Sorry, guys. So it's really, really fun. And
they serve great drinks there too, by the way.
Oh yes, drinks. They have food. It's, I think I would say it is the number one attraction in Pflugerville. Yeah. And people come from all over when I'm there. I think it's just locals, but people come from like hours away.
Also, when they shut down the water park during the winter times when it gets a little bit colder out, they open up this whole space for a restaurant. So they still, I mean, it is local, family owned, and they, you know, unfortunately it's not hot all 12 months, so
I mean it's hot like a lot of the months, but not all 12 months,
but they turn it into a restaurant.
Yeah, it's a really cool place. And not far from there is DBAT. So DBAT is a batting cage, indoor batting cage. Is actually right next to the community impact building, and my sons have both utilized that space, and
I've been there with my kids.
Yeah, so it's people come from all over to go there. And then Spare Time is not far from there either.
No, I like to go to Spare Time quite a bit actually. So Spare Time is what it sounds like. It's a bowling lane, but they also have a really nice arcade, very affordable arcade in my opinion. They got laser tag, they have axe throwing upstairs. Yeah. They have 2 different sections for bowling, so you can have like a more private area with smaller kids, and they got the more public area with adults. They serve great drinks. They actually have a really good restaurant.
Really good. Surprisingly good.
I mean, I wouldn't be like, well, it's A+ restaurant, but it's good.
Yeah,
like it's actually they got good food. Yeah, and they do parties there.
Yeah, I was gonna say great place for birthday parties. That's usually when we're there, is for birthday parties.
And they got good community involvement. My kids go to school in Hutto, so not even in Pflugerville, and they'll get little flyers sent home that say good for 1 free game of bowling or 1 free laser tag game. And so I just think that the amount that they do to just like draw the community in is impressive, and I would highly recommend going to Spare Time.
Yeah, and that's on the east side, on the kind of central to southeast side.
Yeah, it's by a Starbucks. It's actually pretty close to Typhoon, Texas.
It is not far from Typhoon, Texas. So if you're more central or west in Pflugerville, then you're going to go to a very similar place called Austin Parks and Pizza. They have more outside, so they have the bowling and the arcade and
bumper boats
stuff inside, but then they have the bumper boats, and they have go-karts, and they have rock climbing and stuff outside. And so they have it's a big attraction for birthday parties.
Did we say putt-putt?
Oh, putt-putt. Yeah, mini golf. So it's a great place to go spend a day, and kind of a lot of money, but a good day with your family or your friends. And that's going to be right off 35, kind of at the border of Austin and Pflugerville.
Yeah, that's a good place to go as well. I would agree with that. You will have a ton of fun. Your kids will love it. You might spend a little bit more money there.
Yeah. So how about a free attraction? Does that sound nice after all this money we've been talking about?
You mean like parks?
Parks and Lake Pflugerville. And so I really love Lake Pflugerville. It's a beautiful walking trail, about 3.2 miles all the way around. You can swim. You can do non-motorized boats, so kayaks and paddleboards, and they have a rental station for those. So it's a beautiful it's a man-made lake, but it's a beautiful lake.
Yeah, back when I first moved back to the Austin area, I moved in with my brother in very close to Pflugerville Lake, and I had a dog that recently passed away, but I used to walk her, every single day around that lake. It was great exercise. I loved it. And, just being in nature and around water is just always very therapeutic and healing.
Yeah, definitely. And so that is kind of one of the parks. They do have a playground there, and they have like a beach area. What we in Texas call a beach. As San Diego, I wouldn't call it a beach, but I enjoyed it.
A little pebbly stones.
It is a nice place to go if you just want to cool off, especially if you have littler kids.
It's pretty crowded in the summertime.
It does get pretty crowded in the summer. So there are tons of parks in Pflugerville. That's one of the things I noticed most when I moved here. So there are 35 parks and 33 trails. Most of those trails are connecting to form the Pflugerville Hike and Bike Trail, which is like 7.2 miles.
Pretty awesome.
And it's secluded. It's away from the road. So it's by a creek. So there's bunches of trees and shade.
There's water everywhere in Texas, by the way.
Yeah, lots of creeks.
It's necessary.
Ponds, water. Yeah, when it rains, it all overflows. And sometimes it gets it seems like a flood, but then like a couple hours later it's gone. So, but yeah.
Our land knows what to do.
They do. Yeah, it handles it. So, but I loved that I could walk out my front door when I lived in Pflugerville and walk pretty easily to about 5 parks.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
it's pretty
As a
sweet.
matter of fact, I've been a part of a few like moms meetup groups, and I think because of my sister-in-law, actually I know because of my sister-in-law, I'm more involved with the Pflugerville mom meetup groups, and it's always at a different park. And so I am from the area, and you think I would know where all the parks are, but they keep suggesting new ones, and I keep being this is a new park. Oh, this is a new park. So.
Yeah, and shout out to Catherine Fleischer Park. Like, it's on the border of Austin and Pflugerville. I don't know if it's technically an Austin address or a Pflugerville one, but it's in Wells Branch, which I consider Pflugerville. And it has a 3-story playhouse and a big grassy area and an amazing playground, and it's really rad. So I definitely think that that's a big draw, is the parks and trail systems that they have here.
Amen. Okay, so next we want to talk about is downtown Pflugerville. They actually do have a downtown Pflugerville. I wouldn't say it's as like, it's not boutique shop like when you're like in Hutto or in Round Rock, but they do have some breweries, and there's Hanover's, which is like an outdoor bar, but it's kid friendly, and they got volleyball, so you can like join a volleyball league every summer if you wanted to.
Yeah, they have a couple of restaurants down there.
Some good coffee shops.
I want to say they have a tattoo parlor.
There is a tattoo parlor. Yeah. I haven't gotten one from there, but
no, I haven't either. But
I can't attest.
But yeah, it's a cute little area. It's pretty small compared to Georgetown or Round Rock, but it is, they're trying to keep the character of the buildings and everything.
Yeah.
It's a nice, and they have some murals, and they had some sculptures.
Oh yeah, something else I would say about Pflugerville is if you're moving from from out of town and you want to know what the political climate is in Pflugerville, the way I describe Pflugerville is it's purple. So, I mean, that could be a plus or a minus for you, but Pflugerville is just everything is very diverse about Pflugerville, including the political climate. So if you think purple sounds good, then come on down.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's pretty balanced as well. Yeah. So if you're not going to eat in downtown Pflugerville, then there's plenty of other places to go. A lot of them are in the Stonehill Shopping Center, or there's another Target right on the border of Pflugerville and Round Rock, and they have some restaurants in there. So I definitely like 54th Street, which we're going to take you there.
Yeah. 54th Street is probably a favorite in Pflugerville for me as well.
It is a chain, but it's the only one of its kind in this area. And it's fairly new. They've only been open a couple years, but has an amazing patio.
It has a fun revolving door.
So we're going to take you there. In addition to that, we have Chick-fil-A. Who doesn't love Chick-fil-A? I definitely do. Torchy's, Mod Pizza. I will say Pflugerville definitely has more chain restaurants than mom and pop owned restaurants.
That is true. I completely agree with that statement.
Yeah. So if you're cool with that, then you're cool with Pflugerville, and you can find plenty of places to go.
And honestly, you don't have to drive very far if you want to go to a mom and pop.
Yeah, there are some Brotherton's Barbecue is my dad's favorite barbecue, and that is on South Central Pflugerville, very close to Austin. But yeah, I would say 54th Street is my main jam.
So I do, however, want to highlight a really delicious Mexican restaurant in Pflugerville called El Taquito. It's right off of the 130 Access Road, and they are amazing.
Yeah, and that would be a mom and pop, not chain restaurant if you wanted to try one.
Yeah, I started going there actually. Well, I had the tacos, and I was just blown away with how good they were.
Tacos a lot.
But they also serve really good margaritas, and they sold them to go, so I would go through the drive-thru.
Yeah, that's something we got out of COVID. Texas let us have to-go alcohol. It was really
Get my margarita to go in the little bag with the straw. And
or they put a piece of tape on the lid, like that's going to stop you, but it's cool.
No, theirs was in a bag.
Okay. Yeah, most of the places just put a piece of tape on the lid. I've discovered a lot of the places I like to eat from this Facebook group called Pflugerville Foodies. Of course, the foodie has a PF because we're in Pflugerville. So my dad turned me onto it, or I turned him onto it. I don't remember, but my dad is like a connoisseur. Robert Riley, you might see his name on there. So, but that has actually launched a lot of restaurants. They're not all in Pflugerville. It's all over the area, but it's really helpful if you're trying to find new restaurants.
Yeah, sounds good. Yummy. Now I'm getting hungry.
I'm hungry. Okay, so shopping. I mean, I think it's pretty important to have things nearby. At least it is to me. Like when I was moving here, every house I looked at, I was like, how far is Target? So for me, when I lived in central Pflugerville, I had two almost equal distance, the Pflugerville one and the one that's technically in Round Rock right on the border. So that's how I measure things, and you might have a different store like Costco, which we have in Pflugerville. We have plenty of HEBs. We have 2 HEBs and then one that is like technically in Round Rock, but I consider it Pflugerville. So we have Kohl's.
Yep, we got a Kohl's now.
Where do you shop the most?
Probably Costco. Also, I like the gas, and the line at the Costco in Pflugerville is never long. Like 95% of the time, we can go straight up to the pump. Like, I don't gotta wait on nobody.
And the lines inside of Costco are never too long either. They have a self-checkout, and then they keep people. I went on Sunday or Saturday, which is not always a good decision. I usually go during the week, but even with that, I got through really quickly. So
we got a Specs. I probably shop the most at Costco, but once Hobby Lobby comes in, that's going to be my new preferred location
excited
of choice.
So we don't have to go into like central or south central Round Rock to go to that. So we definitely have lots of choices, and you don't really need to leave Pflugerville to get what you want.
Nope.
Yep. So now we're going to tell you about some neighborhoods. So like we have talked about in some of our other videos, we do have a lot of master planned communities in Pflugerville. So a master planned community, if you don't have one in your area, is a community that is designed to include parks, oftentimes schools, walking trails, pools, and it's all laid out before it's built. And then sometimes they have one builder, sometimes they have multiple builders, and we have a lot of those here in Pflugerville.
We do. As a matter of fact, the largest one is is Black Hawk Community. So that is the largest master plan community. There are multiple sections in Black Hawk. My parents and my brother and his wife live in the Black Hawk community, so they're both over there. They're both in different sections though. That's exciting. We'll use the amenities to each different area.
Yeah, Black Hawk itself has multiple pools and parks and
schools. They have multiple schools just in the different sections of the neighborhood as well.
And community events.
Huge community events.
And that is the newer side of Pflugerville, is that east side. Black Hawk was one of the only communities out there for a long time, but then over the last decade or two, a bunch have sprung up. So Avalon, Commons at Row Lane, Falcon Point, which was voted best master plan community many years in a row. There's just a lot over there, and you can't necessarily always tell like when they transition to another neighborhood, but that whole area over there really has had a lot of growth.
Yeah. Awesome. They also have a few events downtown in Pflugerville. The Pecan Street Festival and the Chili Cook-Off, both are huge. I feel like they've gotten a little bit overcrowded because so many people have heard about them. So some interesting information is Pecan Street used to actually be, way back in like the 1800s, was downtown Austin. So it filtered over into Pflugerville. Oh. So the original Pecan Festival was actually a part of Austin, and it has transformed into Pflugerville. So
yeah, a lot of times they'll call it like Pecan Fest or Chili Fest
with a PF.
Of course,
always gotta put that PF in there.
That's their signature, and it's cute.
Yeah, and then when you go to the Chili Fest, you will get a bunch of little cups, but you get pretty full, and I mean people would really take a lot of pride in their chili.
Oh, they also have the fireworks festival. Which is PF, and it's just so funny. And having lived there for 6 years, I just thought it was the cutest thing. But they shoot off fireworks on the 4th of July.
It is getting a little more crowded now, though.
Yeah, so it's really community oriented, and that's what I liked about moving here, is that they were intentional about creating events that the citizens could come to.
Absolutely. Yeah. So lots of fun. Well, this has been so much fun. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us today as we do a little mini vlog about Pflugerville, Texas.
Pflugerville. So what do you think? Is it for you? Did this bring up some questions? You can put them in the comments and we'll answer them, or you can call us, text us, email us, or hop on a Zoom call with us. Whether you're moving now or a year from now, we would love to talk to you about it. So make sure you also subscribe. And turn on your notifications.
Hit that bell, hit the bell.
Don't miss all of our content. So, hey, let's get you over to Texas.
Ciao for now.